Hello and welcome to my channel. In this channel, mostly we try to cover possible interview questions for DevOps and SRE roles. So the point of these, so that when you go through these videos, you will feel confident going into a DevOps or SRE role interview, and you will not be nervous. So that's what I'm trying to get. That's my end goal. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. It's nothing for you, but it does wonders for my channel. So I really appreciate if you do. Okay, you may be aware that I did some research on LinkedIn based on job descriptions, 35 of them, and these are the topics that came out in the top. These are the top 15. The cloud, AWS, GCP there, and CI/CD, those are most important. And the ones at the bottom, like system design and containers, they're not as important. However, they're still important. As you can see, out of 35 jobs, 17 of them mention some sort of system design, right? So they're not negligible. So for sure, spend more time on the top topics, but do not ignore the ones at the bottom. Okay, today's topic is number one, cloud slash AWS. That's our topic today. The question today is, how would you optimize cost for a large scale application running on AWS without compromising performance and reliability? That's a broad topic, but I will try to give you some broad ideas that you can mention as an answer to this question. Of course, you don't have to know every little detail of this, but as long as you know where to attack your cost, you'd be good to go. You can read the slide for yourself. Just about my career advisor. He is very passionate, and just sign up for free. Okay. So first of all, you have to assess where your cost is going today as the application is running. You can use something called a service called Cost Explorer in AWS, and see what part of your application is actually using up most of your cost. So you have to know where you are to begin with. Once you know that, then you can start attacking some of the main points. Generally, the most common way you incur costs is through compute, through EC2s. So if your EC2 machines are too big, then you can right size them. You can make them smaller. If they're not needed to run all the time, if they can be killed without any state problems, you can use what's called a spot instance. They're way cheaper, way cheaper. You can also enroll in some sort of savings plan. Normally, if you have an account with AWS, there are things you can do where you purchase ahead of time and so on and so forth. There are plans you can use to actually get discounts from Amazon. That's another way. The second most important area where cost gets expensive is storage costs, S3, and so on and so on. So if we have S3, if we're using S3, make sure to use lifecycle policy so that old assets are no longer held in the most expensive S3 bucket type, if you will. Over time, they should be moved to slower type of S3 buckets. If you're using EBS, you should archive some of the volumes that are not being used. If you have databases that are doing snapshot, they're very expensive. So those snapshots should be deleted over time. If you don't have to use EC2s, you can use serverless like Lambda or Fargate to run your application. You don't have to always use EC2s. That's another way of saving money. The other way, it's not as important, but sometimes it can become important, is your network traffic cost. If you based on your number one, when you're analyzing your cost, if you see the networking cost is one of our big ones, then you have to figure out how you can reduce that, and that gets into a lot more detailed analysis of what kind of network you can be used, or should we be using CloudFront or not. So these are some of the ways that you can attack networking costs. But generally speaking, though, networking is normally not one of the top ones that come to mind. Okay, I hope you found this useful. If you have further questions, you can find me on LinkedIn, or you can leave a comment below, and I will see you in the next one.